stinky? Yes, you're stinky. Hello. Today I want to talk about something. I want to do a real talk. I've been meaning to do one of these for a while, but I really didn't know what topic to do. But I've been thinking about it, and I think that we're going to do a real talk about something that I went through and something that I think a lot of people go through but don't really talk about because it's seen as some type of way, I guess, like a vanity thing. When I was deployed last, I had just gotten married a few months prior, and I got pretty fat. So my whole life I've been like 145 pounds, 155 pounds, somewhere in between there depending on the day. And I was pretty chunky, and I felt like through my Men Are Trash video that I'm sure you'd seen, behaviors that some people exhibit, I felt like I was no longer attractive to my spouse and to others. I felt like I was just like looked like kind of a slob, I guess. And that wasn't the case at all. I was like 170 pounds, and maybe for my frame that's kind of small or kind of big, but basically through time I started developing certain behaviors that were super unhealthy. It started out with restricting the things that I ate. I think throughout an entire day I would eat like 2 cups of cereal, like Cheerios. Some days I would go ahead and eat like a sandwich for lunch, but I felt like it wasn't fast enough for me. Then I started being obsessed with how many calories I was burning every day on top of these eating behaviors. And oh my god, did you just rip ass? This is a serious topic. Anyways, so then I started, every time that I was not doing a job, I was walking back and forth, or I was doing something to try to burn off extra calories. And every day I would gym for as long as I could, as hard as I could. I did every single 5K that came my way. And eventually it turned into me making myself sick to try to stop eating any more calories during the day. And it did work for me. I dropped 50 pounds in the last 4 months of that deployment, almost 50 pounds. I think it was like 47. And I felt great, like, about the way that I looked and everything, but my hair was falling out, my skin was dry, and eventually what ended up happening is that my husband kind of caught on to my behaviors, and I think they made him, I don't really know how it would affect a spouse. I can't put myself in those shoes, I've never been there. But he would get very angry, and that made me upset because it's like, how can you be angry at me for this? This is something that my brain would just tell me to do. My brain told me, like, every time I ate something, it was like, you gotta get it out of you, like, you have to get rid of it. And I would tap, and it was just, you just get. She's just so darn cute. I can't even be mad at her. Anyways, yeah, so then when I came home, I did party a lot because, you know, getting home was an exciting time. And I gained some weight back, and I was probably like about 130 at this point. And when I started work again, I was like, I gotta keep this going. And I didn't make myself sick anymore because I knew that my husband was gonna find out, but I literally just did not eat for days at a time. I would fast and tell myself, like, oh, I'm just fasting. And I remember once driving home from work and being so dizzy, I felt like I was gonna faint when I was driving, and I thought, should I pull over right now and just let it pass? What if I faint while I'm driving? And it's all these things running through my mind, and I just couldn't keep my eyes open. And it was a really miserable time for me personally because I love to eat, I love food, but I was just afraid of it for a really long time because I was afraid of being too big, which is totally irrational. I've never been like huge in my life, but this is what my head told me. I'm in a place where I don't log every single thing I eat anymore. I don't make myself sick. I try to enjoy things like running and taking my dog for a walk, which are things I really probably couldn't have done before because I just didn't have the energy for it. I would come home and I would just sit and I would think about not eating. And it was just nuts. I would look up stories of other people who went through this and talk to a couple of my friends that really helped me a lot through it because they also had experienced this and they knew how to cope with this. A big reason why I got out of this was I told my dad about it. I didn't feel as though I could rely on my husband because it made him upset. It made him angry. He didn't know how to, you know how men are. That's not in their pea-sized brains. And my dad would ask me questions. He would ask me, what was I eating today? What did I do today? And I talked to him every single day at the same time. And it was just a really positive moment for me to be able to talk to him and say, yeah, I ate, a piece of chicken today and it tasted really good. And he'd be like, that's great, blah, 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 blah. And as dumb as it sounds, because I wasn't sickly thin, maybe I was and I just didn't see it. I wish I could I'll put a picture here of see if I can edit it, because I'm terrible at editing these, but it doesn't matter. It's the content that matters. That's what I'm here for. And also my best friend back home, I have a best friend here that did the same thing. My friend John was a huge help as well. He validated the way that I felt. And if anybody that is watching this has been through something like this before, or they're starting to be unhealthy about their habits because they want to lose weight or they want to be healthier, just stop. Just pause yourself for a minute. Just pause and think about this. Am I tracking every single calorie that I eat? Am I not even tasting things that I'm offered or trying to drink that somebody wants me to taste or whatever because I don't want to ingest 3 extra calories or 4 extra calories? Am I looking for things that are so low that it wouldn't matter if I ate because I'm going to burn it off walking to my car later? You need to just stop, because exercising and eating should be positive things. We need to eat to live. We enjoy the things that we make, and this is super important to me now because I've been through it and I've came back from it. And I don't really even know where it started. I tried writing about it to see if there was a key point where I switched from, eating whatever I wanted and just being happy and drinking whatever I wanted to, oh my God, if I eat, I'm going to be too fat to have friends or a spouse or a family that love me still. And I just need, if you are going through this, I do need you to stop and just remember there's always somebody there. There's always people. If you can't talk to the people in your life, you can talk to me. You can hit me up any time of day and I'll walk you through the steps. And now the way that I do things is so totally different because the voice, I don't think that it's really ever going to go away. It's just always going to be there and be telling me, oh, you shouldn't eat that because then your arms will get flabby. And you know what? My arms are freaking flabby and it's cool. It's fine because I'm happy and I go for walks every day and I run every day. And now I just keep track like this. I don't write calories, I don't write fat, I don't write macros because it doesn't matter. Being healthy matters. It matters that I had almond milk and whole wheat cereal and salad and crab and rice and a protein shake. I feel good. I feel better. And these are just super important points, I think. I just wanted to have a real talk because I've just been thinking so much about this that it's such a mountain to overcome. It really is. So you see these signs, people dropping weight really fast like this, you gotta help them out. You gotta just pause and ask them, do you want to get a coffee? Do you want to do this? Because those little few extra bits, it means a lot to somebody to just stop and say, hey, what's going on? How can I help you get through this? And that applies to absolutely everything. It applies to people going through depression. It applies to people going through a loss. It applies to people with mental health disorders. It applies to people with family who are going through something like this. And it's just super important that you just stop and just give a shit about somebody, because today I don't think anybody really gives a shit anymore. And it's hard to walk in those shoes and put yourself in that person's place and say, why don't you care about other people? Why do you only care about yourself? I just can't seem to process why they think the way that they think. It's just mind-blowing to me. So anyways, it's like 11:30 at night and I've been late to work the last 2 days because I'm a piece of shit. So I'm gonna go to bed and I will talk to you guys soon. And if you have any other suggestions, of course, just hit me up.